Special Counsel Robert Mueller continues to move further and further away from the original scope of his investigation. Mueller is now apparently looking into White House senior advisor Jared Kushner's conversations with foreign leaders during the period of the transition and Kushner's role in talks about a UN resolution condemning Israeli settlements. Joining me now, Chris Farrell. He's Director of Investigations and Research for Judicial Watch. And as the saying goes, Chris, we have a lot of ground to cover tonight.
Indeed.
Let's start with Mueller. This is becoming one of the most exasperating events in recent presidential history.
It is.
And what now is he doing with Jared Kushner?
He's attempting to criminalize the conversations and contacts, communications of one of the president's not only relatives, certainly a close
his son-in-law
advisor, and somehow take his communications, his contacts or conversations, and criminalize them. And arguably, there's two ways to say that that's nonsense. Number one, he was a private person outside of government service, and that pesky little First Amendment still exists, and he's free to talk to whomever he wishes. But if you want to apply it in the context of the presidency, who's to say that he was not acting at the direction or as an agent of the president in talking to other foreign leaders about possible initiatives or policy ideas? He's entirely free to do so as a member of the president's inner circle. So I'm not really sure. I mean, this is overreach of overreach. This is beyond the pale.
It's also
I thought this was all Russia.
Very irritating.
Yeah.
It is irritating on so many levels. One, it's beyond the purview of his mission.
Correct.
Secondly, it is beyond the pale when it comes to a special counsel who is now adventuring into areas looking for almost any straw that he might grasp in order to say that he should continue an investigation that has been absolutely barren, sterile, and unproductive. And then, to add to that dimension, the obvious intent on the part not only of the deep state, but the leadership of the Republican Party that controls both houses of Congress to permit this overreach to go on. Because we, as I understand it, we have a majority leader in the Senate and a speaker in the House who, along with the heads of the Senate and House Intelligence Committees and the Judiciary Committees, could say, Mueller, you know what, we've had a belly full, and either you present a reason to continue this, or we're drawing it up and saying good night.
And a majority of that leadership, let's just say hypothetically, that the committee chairmen were all sort of in agreement on this, and I know that they're not, but just hypothetically, they could then turn to the so-called leadership, Ryan and McConnell, and say, look, we're going to come out publicly and say that this is nonsense. Either get on board or get out of the way. But there's just this complete failure in leadership. McConnell, Ryan, Burr, the entire cast of characters.
Burr, my God, the head of the Senate Intelligence Committee has
disgraceful.
I'm sorry?
It's disgraceful what he's done.
He has absolutely abdicated his responsibilities, his authority, and turned over one of the most important committees in the United States Senate to the ranking member. He is utterly bereft of any integrity to have conducted himself as he has.
And Warner is busy using the committee to gin up his 2020 campaign. So, and Burr is complicit in that, unfortunately.
And now let's turn to the Justice Department as we find it. Leaderless, rudderless, and conflicted. What are we to do? What is the president to do?
Well, you have a case now where Mueller is issuing subpoenas to his very own Justice Department to compel them to produce records to him. And let's think about this for a second. A subpoena is a coercive legal instrument. It's not a request. It's not coordination. It's not a lot of things. It is a demand with teeth in it. And so ask yourself, what in the world is going on where Mueller is issuing subpoenas to the Justice Department to compel production of records is the Justice Department not cooperating? Is that the message? What is he not getting that he wants, and why would there be resistance over it? We are going off into Never Never Land. This is a level of weirdness with respect to Mueller that it defies description.